Has anyone seen Christmas? Welcome to the fourth in our series of 8 Christmas reflections, where we are on a journey to different places to find Christmas and to reflect upon where the real meaning of Christmas is ultimately to be found. A journey that will eventually lead us to a manger in Bethlehem and the birth of a child some 2,000 years ago, a child whose life, death and resurrection still has the most profound impact on all sorts of people from all over the world. Our fourth destination is the beach. When they had finished eating, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" "Yes, Lord," he said, "you know that I love you." Jesus said, "Feed my lambs." Again Jesus said, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" He answered, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." Jesus said, "Take care of my sheep." The third time he said to him, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter was hurt because Jesus asked him the third time, "Do you love me?" He said, "Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you." Jesus said, "Feed my sheep. Very truly I tell you, when you were younger, you dressed yourself and went where you wanted, but when you are old, you will stretch out your hands and someone else will dress you and lead you where you do not want to go." Jesus said this to indicate the kind of death by which Peter would glorify God. Then he said to him, "Follow me." John 21 verses 15 to 19.
For me, there is nothing more invigorating at this or any other time of the year than a nice long walk along the beach, either at Blackpool or Lytham St Anne's, and enjoying the bracing sea air. Especially at this time of the year, I find that it clears out the cobwebs, clears my thinking, and makes that hot cup of coffee once I get back home much more appreciated. In John chapter 21, verse 15 to 19, we have an account of Jesus forgiving and reinstating Peter, with the action happening on the Galilee shoreline. Peter hadn't exactly covered himself in glory during Jesus' crucifixion. He ran away once trouble and danger came along, and then he denied 3 times to an anonymous young girl that he even knew Jesus. And yet, Jesus' response to Peter was not to cast him off and drop him from his plans. Rather, he asked Peter 3 times, corresponding to the number of times Peter denied Jesus if he loved him. Then Jesus forgave Peter and restored him to his place amongst the disciples in order to fulfill his role in the early church. Perhaps this year has not been a particularly good one for you. You may have had some difficult personal or family circumstances, or you might feel that life has become just that little bit too hard to deal with on your own strength. Perhaps a visit to the beach might remind you of the story I have just mentioned and remind you that Jesus never abandons us. Even in our hard times, he is there, and he will restore us just as he restored Peter. If our response to Jesus' words, "Do you love me?" is, "You know I love you," then he will give us the strength we need to carry on and to live our lives in according with his will and his purpose.
Lord, so often in life, if we get things wrong, it is hard, if not impossible, to get back to where we were. Thank you that when we let you down and we fail in our lives, that you don't abandon us or write us off, but you come to us, forgive us, and gently lead us back into your presence and service. Amen.